pin wazizny laska mił Nigłaspamy pin wazizny laska mił.
All rivers are both socially and ecologically important, and the St. John River is no exception. It provides countless different functions, including recreation, transportation, energy production, and it provides habitat for a lot of different species in the water.
You know, for me, the St. John River is just, it provides a bit of natural beauty for our city. You miss out on that in a lot of other kind of cities and urban areas, but we have it right here, right downtown. If you just look around today, there's people riding their bikes along the river, they're going for runs, they've got their kids down here. I like to take this guy for walks along the river, and it's just nice to kind of get out in nature and in kind of an urban environment.
Wolastoq means beautiful and bountiful, and Wolastoq was everything to my people. Our clan names come from Wolastoq. Also provided our highway, you know, our transportation from one community to another. And I remember the beauty as a child of seeing all the canoes on the riverbank, and they were respected. Nobody ever took anybody else's without permission. And so there was just this beautiful relationship with our Wolastoq.
So the Acadians were the first European settlers to reside along the St. John River, and then in the late 1600s they used it primarily for agricultural reasons. So in the 1770s we did see a lot of deforestation happening along the river due to the lumber industry as well as the agricultural industry here in Fredericton. So during the 1900s we saw more deforestation along the river due to the pulp and the paper industry, as well as the agricultural activities continued to grow at this point, which further impacted the river.
Humans have actually had a profound impact on the river in a number of ways. One is through the introduction of non-native species, two of which are actually the smallmouth bass and the rainbow trout. These species are detrimental to the native ecosystem, as they'll often outcompete native species. Another impact that humans have had on the river is through the construction of dams and reservoirs. So take for instance the Mactaquac Dam. The Mactaquac Dam, it was constructed without a fishway along the side of it, so this actually prevents the upstream migration of a number of species of fish, and it can cause problems, you know, for their breeding and spawning, etc. The Mactaquac Dam also promotes erosion and sedimentation along the river, which is a huge problem and should probably be addressed at some point.
St. John River runs directly through Fredericton, so it separates the south and the north side. Since people like the beautiful river, they want to build increasingly down to the river to get the maximum view. This is causing them to remove trees and vegetation that is used to create a buffer zone. We're no longer having that in Fredericton.
So historically the St. John River has had not so good water quality. Back in the 60s there was a lot of non-point source pollution, especially from a lot of the sawmills and industry that was located right along the river. And of course this led to a reduction in the amount of aquatic life, and this can also affect people's health if they're recreating or swimming or boating in an area that is polluted.
Today, when we look at her, I have to call her, I still call her Wolastoq, but I always have to apologize. You know, we have a forgiveness ceremony, and the forgiveness is, I'm sorry you're polluted. I'm sorry you know, you don't have the songs of the salmon running through you like they used to when I was a child. I'm sorry that my grandchildren can't drink from you like they used to. You know.
The St. John River actually provides habitat for a number of unique species of animals, insects, plants, and actually over 50 species of fish. One of these species of fish that's important to me personally is the Atlantic salmon. It's actually a species at risk and calls the St. John River its home for part of the year. It's important to me. I'm an avid fisherman. I do it for fun. It's a hobby of mine. So without habitat for the fish, I lose a portion of my life that I really enjoy. The Atlantic salmon are also really important for a number of upstream communities, smaller communities that rely on tourist income of people coming into the province to fish for Atlantic salmon.
So, as you can see, the St. John River provides countless different functions and has such a strong bond to our community. That's why it's so important that we take care of it for generations to come.
In our Wolastoqey culture, we don't consider water as a resource. We consider her a relative. Wolastoq say Davers, say Davers, say Ray Pond. Wolastoq say Davers.